Hello everybody and welcome to an exciting list video. We are continuing our cards that define the classes, and today we are on the Survivor class, otherwise known as the Red class, otherwise known as the class with the bird on the symbol, otherwise known as the Fifth class, otherwise known as the Survivor class that Justin likes to play. I'll get going. We'll get going. Yeah, we'll get going. All right, so we each have three cards that define the class for us. So why don't we dive right in? And Bryn, we're back to this old format. Wow, this is wild.
What was this one?
I just thought, I was like, oh yeah, this exists.
Okay.
So Bryn, your number 3 is?
We got William Yorick, because I honestly don't play red characters who aren't this guy. So,
like
yeah, but like not by choice.
It was kind of by choice.
Not really.
Kinda.
Not really.
You really haven't played a red character.
Yeah, like the only time that I played Wendy is because we were playing Mono Survivor, and Justin was like, "I'm playing Will Yorick," and Travis was like,
"Oh yeah, that is right. Oh yeah, that is right. It wasn't by choice. Yeah."
That's
right. What do you mean I gotta play one of the other ones? This little girl gets to play green cards, I guess.
You played Calvin. You played Calvin before.
Yeah. I think you played Duke like way back when too.
I think that was a deck I built for him though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Anyway, this guy pretty much is red.
Exchange.
Pretty much is red cards to me.
Yeah.
I look at red cards and I'm like, does it discard or do damage? Then this is garbage. And that's kind of just it.
Yeah, that is true. That's very fair. All right, I got for my number 3. I have Live and Learn. So my first instinct, of course, with this class is Lucky, right? Because Lucky is like the card that you play if you play Survivor. But I actually think Lucky isn't like really the spirit of the Survivor class in the way that Live and Learn can showcase what this is. Because it's kind of like Lucky is like this is like a backloaded Lucky. You're like, I'll get the Lucky eventually, but I'm also going to fail the test. Which is where I really feel like the Survivor class lives in this, why this defines it even further than Lucky, because Survivor likes to fail. So this can trigger your Lucky Rabbit's Foot if you're still playing that card. This can trigger a Look What I Found. This can trigger like a dozen positive fail effects, and then you also just get to do that test again with an unexpected courage attach. So I think that this is just a really good card. It's showcasing what the Survivor class is and what the Survivor class does. It's like, oh, I'm going to fail, but it's okay if I fail. Yeah.
I'm going to play this on a Crypt Chill, and we're going to try again, baby.
Yeah. But I think, it's just like a different form of Lucky, but I think it's just a bit more Survivor-y.
It's fair.
Travis.
Yeah, what's mine?
Your number 3 is?
It's Glimmer of Hope. Yeah, this card's a very red thing to me. It's like, on its own, it's very unimpressive. It's not like super useful or good. It just commits for a wild symbol, and then you can get it back. But it plays really nicely with a lot of red's mechanics and investigators, where it's an infinite source of cards, and near infinite. And then the wild symbol plays well with like the fact that you use all of their stats somewhat equally. It is very representative of Survivor being able to do everything, like, kind of crappy to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is like Survivor.
Yeah, as well as, like, they do have, like, they have very strong graveyard synergies, which this is also a part of, so.
Yeah, definitely. Because, also, the whole, play from your discard pile is, as far as I'm aware, just the Survivor thing, right? I can't think of another.
There's, Copycat, kind of.
Yeah, Copycat,
sorta.
yeah. But 100%.
Eidetic Memory.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
That we don't play.
We don't.
It turns out it's very hard to both have cards that you're like, I would like a third copy of that for 3 XP, but also just have the 3 XP to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Bryn, you're number 2. I've already forgot what it is. Oh, yeah, it's this card.
Yeah, so this one actually is not representative of anything to me, and that is representative of red, because red is the home of unfinished and unworkable concepts.
Hey, yeah, let's go. Yeah.
That's what they get. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They're like, this is going to be an archetype. Nah, we don't like it. We decided we're tabling it.
Yeah.
Indefinitely.
That I was telling Travis
that's this card is part of
100%
an archetype that clearly was never finished because they didn't have a good idea for what to do with it, which is fine. I'd rather have that than a half-baked garbage pile for like what red gets for.
Or
the
like,
cycle.
what was it like in Hearthstone when they kept trying to force Warlock discard,
Yeah.
and it just like never worked?
Yeah,
and
it was
just,
like it was
okay.
good. It was good one time, and then it was the only deck on the ladder, and they were like never again.
Yeah.
But still discard cards in Warlock.
Yeah, because like this, I was telling Travis that I was gonna put in one of the dilemmas, because it's kind of just like the archetype that exists in one set, and then it's just like see you later.
Yeah.
Because that is very Survivor, right? Like it's the home of unwanted toys,
Yeah,
and the
it
survivors
is.
are like, fine, I'll make it work.
is. They're like a cowboy who rides an ostrich. That goes in red.
He's got pet ostrich.
Like,
I mean, that sounds
Animals
like a
are
pretty
there.
sick investigator. But this is very much a thing, right? Because even in terms of like the investigators too, right? Like it's like, here's Patrice, she does the weird thing. Here's Calvin, he loves to die but not die. Here's Rita, she is there and everyone
does
looks at her.
foot good.
And like there's really like no cohesion in the way that there is in other classes, apart from like the few things where it's like discard or play from your discard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great choice. So sick. All right, my number 2 is look what I found. Fail and do it anyway, and also it means you're probably bad, right? This also could be old keyring, which I think is now like to the point where when you're building a survivor clue getting deck, you're like the first thing you're looking at is just like, oh, my book is 3, I need a plan for this, and that plan is probably going to be, I'm going to fail, so look what I found is going to go in here.
Unless you're
right?
Daryl.
Unless you're Daryl, he's
Yeah,
the
in which case
exception.
You're just
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna pass my tests forever.
Oh yeah, let's just get yellow cards.
Yeah. So like it's this idea that you're bad at what you do. And another example of this is like the Derringer, the Survivor Derringer, where if you miss, the ammo goes back into the gun, right? Because you're gonna miss. Because you're a survivor, you have 3 fists. So like there's a lot of like built-in security nets, which means that like you're going to fail, but it's going to be okay if you fail. Like this goes back to the last one, but this also kind of extends into the you're kind of just garbage, but you're going to do like broken things while being garbage. It like doesn't make sense. Like you're bad, but your card pool is so good, and also like level 0 survivor cards are like just really good,
I think this.
or they're
card,
really bad.
I think this card might be nuts with Live and Learn.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they have the same window to
Yes.
play, so
Yep.
you can play this and then play the other one and
Yeah,
be like, 100%.
100%.
Cool, but like I did the thing anyway.
Yep. Yeah, you get the clues, and then you just grab the third
So,
clue off the
like,
location.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, I do play nicely with that.
All right, Travis, your number 2 is
Oh, it's Pete Sylvester. Yeah, so this is the part of Survivor that like you never ever die, but also you struggle a bit to play the game or to like win the game because you just buffing your useless don't do things stats.
yeah, it is true.
Sure, he helps you evade things and not die in like pass brain tests and Mythos phase, and you'll never die of horror damage. But like, now what? I mean, the answer is like Peace Fester is only a single card, so you can spend all the other cards in your deck doing the other things. But he's just the most cohesive
Yeah, he's
representation of that.
Yeah.
he's just like pure defense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, like the Survivor never dying thing, I think is one of the few like cohesive themes that they have.
100%. Yeah,
So
that was one of the ones that I didn't include. I'm glad someone did, because it's true, right? Like this even goes to what we're going to be talking about in the next ones, but like even just like their ability to recur things as well, like a teddy bear that costs 0 and will Yorick and just never die.
yep.
It's kind of wild. And having, I think one of the like there's
You know, he's a teddy bear.
there's like bandages, which is really good. If there's I hope they don't make a horror version of bandages, because I
That
think
also
that's like kind of just
Too much.
very strong, because yeah, it's just a little bit much.
I mean, it would be very good with Carolyn. You'd be like, I took damage. Just kidding, I didn't. I got him money.
Yes. Yeah. I just remember the time that Bryn and I, don't worry, Bryn and I are going to finish recording it when Travis dies in March again. But our asset only run, when just you took a damage but then healed 3 because there were 4 bandages in play.
It's wild.
Like, bandages really should have a limit to the number in play as well. Like, the card's just, I think, too good at level 0. Anyways, that's a clickbait title once again. Is healing too good? Oh my god, is Julie shoveling for me?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love my wife. Okay. Bryn, you're number 1.
I got lucky. when we had just the core set, this was always the card that we'd argue about
Yeah.
where it got to go. And it was the red card that people cared about.
Yeah.
To the point where we'd be like, your guy can play higher level red cards, so you should take the level 2 lucky, and I'll just put the level 0 lucky in my deck, and then we'll have 4 luckies.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
times.
Ignore the fact that out of core set, whoever could play lucky can also play the level 2 lucky, so like,
Yeah, but the thing is, like, level 2,
red
like,
characters had nothing to spend
That was
on
more like
anyway,
after we got
so,
the Dunwich stuff too.
yeah.
yeah, no, Lucky is a very strong card. And it's also, like, fun where you can be a little bit cheeky and even, like, use it with a look what I found while you still fail but get clues. It's very versatile for that. And it also, what I love about Lucky is that it has that dumb rule that makes no sense, because that's ARKHAM, where you're negative for a test, but it's...
You can't be negative, but like you
You're
are.
not, you're not negative at the end of calculation, but like if you're negative now, you're negative
Yeah.
if you try to add numbers
that's
to your thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is very Survivor. Anyone who plays Survivor will probably have to find a reason to not include this in
Yeah,
their deck.
like you,
Yep.
you better have it. You need to not. I'm not trying to threaten you into playing this card if you can play red cards, but like
But you are.
you should really have a good reason not to. It's very strong.
Yeah, and then it only gets better when
Yeah.
we talk about my card, which is resourceful, and also Travis's card, which is resourceful. So
That's
this,
kind of bullshit.
yeah. So this obviously represents for me the recursion, which is like the Survivor thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I mean, I like recursion as part of the Survivor archetypes because it gives more meat to those single cycle archetypes where like you don't have as many cards to play with, but you get to use them again, right? And also this should be like a core set card, not from Carcosa.
Yeah.
And honestly, it should also like remove itself from the game.
Yeah, probably. That would probably be a good little, just some RFG on that.
Yeah. They tried, but they said not named resourceful.
Yeah, no,
Well, like-
there was that, but I mean, like,
oh, yeah, I get +1 for my tests forever. Like,
and like, it's so freaking like, it's so even just dangerous. Like when like then investigators have recursion built into them. So like a min elders, like this is relying on the elder sign, but like the other thing about Survivor is that they can manipulate the chaos the token bag in a way to just give them
bit,
elder
yeah.
signs is a thing if they need to. But like a min elder sign with resourceful attached gives you that resourceful back. A Silas elder sign is so strong because resourceful exists, right? It's that recursion that survivors have that is dangerous because as it gets better and better and better, it becomes just too strong, right? Because like there's that dialogue for it now. I've been playing a lot of that Shed a Light card because it's very strong. And it already does what survivors want to be doing, but it becomes even stronger when you can recur it, right? Like a card.
I've seen a couple people complain about it, and they're like, "This card is insane when I get to do it every turn." It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, maybe you should be allowed to do it every turn.
exactly, right? Like Shed a Light's a good effect. It's a very strong effect. If you do it twice in the game, it's like that was strong. Maybe still one experience strong, but if you do it like 4 times a game, if you do it 3 times a game, you're gonna win, and that's because of this card and just Survivor general recursion. Even Scavenging could be here, but I think Resourceful is more like the
I actually
idea.
think scavenging is more of a design problem than resourceful, is just because it's actually infinite uses.
Yeah, definitely.
You just put it in play and you just have it forever. So
Yeah. I think that this Resourceful just is seen more commonly because it
yeah,
also has
you don't
like
need to
3
investigate
symbols.
for it. It is more like
Yeah.
widely applicable.
Yeah.
But scavenging is more likely to like be broken.
Yeah, 100%. Especially as items get stronger, Scavenging just gets stronger.
Yep.
Right? Because, like, yeah. And then also just the 3 symbols that, you know,
Very useful.
all very useful. And you're going to pass one of those tests.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind seeing scavenging be changed to like usage supplies.
Yeah, 100%. Because then you could, like, you could still do stuff with it with, like,
Yeah, then you can
E-cash.
still, you can still interact with it with like emergency cash, contraband,
Yeah.
and venture.
oh, that's fun.
But,
But it's limited.
Yeah, like you can't just do it forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's really both those blob decks that you and I have played hinge entirely on scavenging. Just
Yeah, the Eon chart, the thing that I did.
There
the
would have
looping.
still been like good decks if scavenging had limited uses, but like you couldn't just play the game
Yeah.
forever.
100%.
Like what's his name? Professor.
William Webb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they call him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he's limited.
Like he's got a finite number of uses.
Mm-hmm.
So like it feels fair,
It does.
but also he's easy to discard. So then you can recur him.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, yeah, you could just bring him back.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, I think at that point now, like, you're living in a world where you're spending, like, you have to play another ally in your deck to kill him, or kill him another way. You have to then, resourceful to bring him back. That's a lot better than just, like, having a level 0 card that you can set and forget and just, like, never stop using.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's Survivor. I mean, this is a dialogue we've been having on the channel for a while, especially about resourceful. I think we've been saying for. I think I would still play the hell out of this card if we removed it from the game. You
Yeah, I
know?
would too. It's still be like an auto include. You just can't use it forever.
Versatile it into my deck.
Think about it a little bit.
Realize that I can't use it to get anything back. Remove it from the game anyway.
Oh, good. We have the right patron thing up. All right.
Nice.
This week's it's got to be scavenging. Yeah. No, see, very. It's very accurate. This is from Matthew M. Survivors make do what they have and recycle it as needed. Yes, they do. Yeah. Like it's actually this is a conversation I wanted to have like in a long form podcast because I think that scavenging would be less of a thing if everyone in the game, if everyone was like rolling banks with like a pretty okay but mediocre in the long-term stat line, right?
Yep.
Where you have to work for it. But the problem is now the game is designed around the stat lines where there's a 5 in a stat, right? And I feel like the game would be better if everyone was like rolling banks.
That's fair.
Yeah. But I think that's like a long-form video where just talking about the stats and all that. So if you want to see that video, let us know in the comments. You know, feed the engagement beast. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. And as always, a GG's.